Hi everyone, it's Don and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Well, one cruise line and probably a couple more are starting to send all their ships that they have in US waters to Europe. So why are a lot of cruise lines loading up their ships and sailing them off to Europe right now? Well, there's actually two very compelling reasons why they're doing this at the moment. One of them is they're still having trouble to get crew members repatriated and switch out their crew members back and forth to keep the ships running. They're still having that roadblock with the CDC, even though they're all provisional green cruise ships now. They've only signed off on the papers on one still. And I did a story on this over a week ago, and it still hasn't changed. So it's just paperwork, and the CDC is dragging their heels, and so they can't get their people home. So they're heading to Europe, where these restrictions are not in place. As long as there's been no cases on board, the ports will allow the cruise ship to come in and switch out people as long as they're doing the quarantining process properly. There's no restrictions. Imagine that. 75 days, no cases on board, you're allowed to switch out your crew. Amazing, right? So that is one of the priority reasons that most of these ships are heading over to Europe right now. And chances are they may stay there for a while until all this settles down, especially that they still can't get straight answers about how to get their people back home from the CDC. So that's a very big concern that the cruise lines have. Another one is that, as I reported yesterday, we have more countries now opening up in Europe. So now we have Norway that's opened up, we have Greece that's opened up, and now we have Italy that's starting to open up, and now Britain's looking at opening up Southampton area as well. So we have Germany there. So it looks like Europe is trying to get the cruise industry started and letting them start out, and we'll see what happens. They're trying to open their economies. They know economy has to start up at some point. We all cannot stay home in our homes and just keep printing money and printing money and printing money and just handing it out to people. At some point, that debt becomes payable. And if you do that for too long, the amount that you owe is more than you will ever make again, and you will be taxed to death. So yeah, they have to start opening, get people back to work everywhere. And so that's what they're starting to do with their tourism. They know tourism dollar is a huge industry. Travel is a huge industry. And hotels, people fly in ahead of time. They spend a few days, sometimes a week ahead of time in a country before a cruise or a post-cruise. So that's a lot of travel money that they have been missing for 4 months now, and they want it back. So Europe is trying to open up, and they are making it, you follow your procedures. We've given you your guidelines. If you mess up like they did in Norway, they shut you down for a little while, get your act together, and then we'll try again. Right now, that seems fair, right? Because they're not going out with tons of people. They're still going out with smaller amounts of people. We just had the Mein Schiff 2 had a 3-day cruise to nowhere, out to the ocean and back, over 1,000 people, 1,200 people on board and that's just passengers. And there's been nothing. There was no outbreak. Nobody's tested positive since coming back. And it's had a couple cruises now. So those are some very good signs that when you do your procedures properly and you follow them, that we just might be able to do this. So here we go. That's why they're heading over there now. Who knows? They may say, you know what? It looks like we may not open up in the United States now till June of next year, the way things are going. Maybe we need our ships over in Europe and keep them there because that may be the only cruising we can do at the moment. And some money is better than no money, and that's what they're looking at. So first of all, they're repatriating their crew. Somebody asked the other day when I mentioned about the CDC's giving them the hard time about bringing their crew members, and they said, well, how many people are actually on a cruise ship right now? I mean, come on. Well, there's over 12,000 people off the shores of the United States waiting to go home still. Those are the people just in waiting to switch out and be able to go home. That's not the people who are still on the ship and who have contracts, who have signed on and showed up and are there, going to be there longer. These are the people who are officially waiting to go home. Over 12,000 crew members. So yeah, it's a substantial number, and that's why a lot of the cruise ships now are heading to Europe, where they're allowing to do it. Simple as that. Well, I hope you appreciate this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Want to see more tips, more tricks, more travel vlogs from around the world? Hit that subscribe button. Till next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation.